All right. Good evening, everyone. This is the September 2025 meeting of the City of Dorville Planning Commission. The Planning Commission is a volunteer committee appointed by the Mayor and City Council. My name is Yvette Prusing, and I am the chair of the commission. The commission hears applications for rezonings, text amendments, conditional use permits, variances, and makes recommendations on such items to the City Council. When it is time for public comment on an item, those present in person may come to the podium. If you are watching via Zoom, please use the raise hand function. This meeting will now come to order. Will you call the roll, please?
Prusing,
Yes.
Speed. Adams, yes. Swanee,
Here.
Gilmore.
Here.
Chris might be on. Yeah, Chris might be online.
Chris, you there?
Hey, I'm here.
All right. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve tonight's meeting agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Devin made the motion. Billy made the second. Call the roll, please.
Devin,
Yes.
Billy, yes. Michael,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
and Yvette.
Yes. And would somebody like to make a motion to approve the minutes from last month's meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve last month's meeting from August 6th.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Billy made the motion. Michael made the second. Call the roll, please.
Adams, yes. Swanee,
Yes.
Pershing,
Yes.
Speed,
Yes.
and Gilmore.
Yes.
All right. I think we're ready to hear the first case.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, Planning Commissioners. The first item on tonight's agenda, it's a CUP case, conditional use permit submitted by Dorville Art, or DART as they like to go by, for an accessory alcohol license. This is located at property addressed as 2421 Suite 180. It's zone T5C, which stands for Urban Center Conditional. DART is located in the same suite as the Dorville Library. However, the two organizations operate in different spaces. Dorville Art encompasses about 4,365 square feet out of a total of about 10,890 square feet overall. This is the location of the DART in the Tilly Mill Shopping Center, located next to the library. DART is a nonprofit organization. It's 100% volunteer based. They have about 12 board members and 15 to 20 volunteers. Their mission is primarily to create a space and encourage art in the city. Their mission, however, is to create and encourage art in the city through advocacy, education, but also be a gathering space for people to come in and express their artistic side. The purpose of this accessory alcohol license is so that DART can serve alcohol to its patrons during special events that DART will be facilitating on an annual basis. Some services that DART provides is they're an art gallery. They also provide low-cost art classes. There's space for art gatherings. There's shared workspace for art creation, as well as offer select art pieces for merchant for sale. This is the space currently being set up in DART, which is right next to the Dorville Library. Staff are recommending approval with a condition because this is adjacent to the library. We do want a condition that all alcohol must be inaccessible to the general public at all times, except during a DART event where the alcohol is supervised by a DART employee. But the applicant is here to answer any questions. This application was also advertised in the newspaper on August 28th, and also a sign was posted on the property on August 29th. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. And real quick question. You just said that they were all volunteers. So they'd have to hire somebody? Because
The-
volunteers and employees are two different things.
Yeah, I can probably I'll let the applicant go into a little bit more detail about their, how they structure their organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And since the applicant's here, you can come up to the mic and you can have up to 10 minutes.
So I'm Mary French, the Executive Director of DART. Part of the reason for wanting this is if you go to a fancy gallery in Midtown and downtown, there's always a little cocktail or a champagne toast. So giving a little bit of that heightened experience to our lovely community artists is really part of it. For us, alcohol would only be accessible when one of our 12 board members is present. They're covered under our insurance, under both board insurance, plus we have alcohol service insurance that we have always carried year round. We cover ourselves because we all do volunteer. So we have all of those things available. That's all.
All right. Thank you. Any questions?
No.
Are there any provisions to like train people to look out for overconsumption, stuff like that? I know when like bartenders they get training, something like that.
So at all of our past events in our former space, we limited it to 2 drinks per person over a 4-hour event, which long ago in the state of Ohio, I taught those classes. So it's in my brain, but we would also be willing to have all of our board go through, because I know that there are Georgia classes for that if we feel that's an important step.
Thank you.
I have a question. Don't go far.
I'll stay right here.
It's a really quick question. In regards to in the events that you hold, I know you said they're special events. Will there be a way to ID folks to make sure they're 21 and up?
Yes, and we actually, even for our larger events, we have bright green 21 and over bands for most of it, but for a lot of our things, they've already filled out with birth date who the adults are, but we will also willingly check, and when in doubt, the answer is no.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go ahead and open up the public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak in favor of this item, please come to the podium or use the raise hand function on Zoom. All right. Anybody wishing to speak against? Okay. Any further discussion? All right. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Did you want to add the staff recommended condition?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve with staff recommended. Yes. Sorry.
That's okay. And then did you want to change the employee to board members?
Sure.
Okay.
That works.
I'll second that.
Okay. Chris made the motion. I heard Michael make the second first. Call the roll, please.
Chris,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Yvette,
Yes.
and Devin,
Yes.
and Billy, yes.
All right. And let's hear the next case, please.
Thank you. So the second case item tonight is for a variance submitted by DM Nguyen. The property is located at 3202 Little John Way. This area is in the newly annexed portion of Dorville. It's zoned R1 for neighborhood residential. This request is to vary the code section 5-70 subsection E, which states that properties can only have one curb cut. The request here is to allow for the construction of a second new concrete 9 feet wide curb cut and driveway. So with a 9-foot wide driveway, they are proposing a length of the new driveway to be approximately 85 feet long. The property currently has one driveway off of Pin Oak Circle. It's approximately 17 feet wide. It does have space limitations lengthwise. It can only go from the street to the existing garages. The need for the second garage is due to the homeowner has a boat and 2 jet skis, along with there are multiple personal vehicles as well. So fitting all these on their existing driveway is starting to be pretty impossible to fit everything on a concrete surface. The variance ask is specific to a second curb cut. However, their proposed overall goal is to build a detached garage in the back of the property to serve as a storage place for miscellaneous items, as well as the boat, the jet skis, and so forth. Here are some photos of the boat and the jet skis, as well as you can see a little bit of gravel into the entrance to the rear yard through the gates. Here's a survey. Here's the proposed site plan. So they do plan to do a straight driveway up the hill into a proposed garage. Here's a example of what they are proposing to build. And let's go over some examples of what our code does allow for. So typical lots in Dorville oftentimes allow for both of these designs. The one on the left is a driveway that cannot go beyond the rear plane of the home. So when you just have a home and no detached structure in the rear, like a detached garage in the rear, you have to stop at the rear plane of the house. You can't go past it. However, on the right side, if you do have a detached garage in your backyard, the driveway can extend past that rear plane and it can connect into the garage. So these are 2 types of driveways that our code does allow by right. Ultimately, the applicant is wanting to do the example on the right-hand side, but they are unable to due to 3 factors that we'll go over. So first is topography. If you see the green dot to the red dot, there's a jump of about 11 feet right off of their driveway. And you can see that it's visible right here. So there's no way for them to extend past no way to connect to their existing driveway and extend past the rear plane of the house because of this topography difference. Also, 2 other challenges is that normal lots, they're, a nice rectangle. The home is pretty much in line with the rectangle as well. But their lot was built at an angle. I think the developer back in the 60s wanted these corner lots to be showcased in the neighborhood. And so they were kind of built to face the corner. So this is another challenge. It just limits the size of the existing driveway. And it just kind of overall just limits the ability to build a driveway past the rear plane of the house. Staff is recommending approval with 2 conditions. First, we want the second driveway to be no wider than 9 feet. We think that 9 feet is like the minimum variance that they'll need in order to achieve what they're needing to achieve. Also, there is existing gravel on the yard, and Dorville code is very clear that we don't allow for gravel. So once the proposed second driveway is put in, we want to make sure that all that gravel is removed properly and replaced with compliant ground cover. The applicant is here tonight. If you have any questions, and we did advertise this case and post 2 signs on the property. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And we'll have the applicant come up and you can have up to 10 minutes.
Thank you, Albert. Thank you, Commissioner. Albert explained it very well for us. In general, our house is not structured in the standard position like any other houses. So there are difficulty, as well as my parents' health. They're in the 60s and their walking is not as good as others right now. So we would hope to also create a pathway in the backyard so that they can be more easy access for them to into the house as well. So, is there any
Okay.
question for us?
Any questions?
I have two questions. On one of the images, I don't know, not this one that I see, but there was a overview image. This one. It looks like, and I don't know from the picture, I have two questions on this picture. Will there be any trees disrupted? I can't really tell if there's like trees over there that would have to be disrupted.
No, ma'am.
Okay. And then on looking at the right side of the picture, is there already a curb cut in the driveway? I can't really tell.
Yes, well, curve cut.
Not technically, it's kind of like a makeshift where they had placed gravel there, so it wasn't permitted properly. So that's the intent for tonight.
I got it. Okay. Thank you.
Well,
Oh,
to
go ahead.
add to that, because my dad has spoken to the DeKalb County in regards to the gravel prior to the project. And they told him, well, it wasn't in paper or documents, but they told him that he could put gravel there so that he can park his car. So he went ahead and did it because they told him, hey, this is what you can do. And he's not fluent in English, so he just did it. So now we're asking for the variance to cover that gravel driveway, and then create another a two-door garage so that it's more accessible for him, and also to accommodate more of his miscellaneous, extra accessories. Yeah.
All right. Do you have questions? Okay. Do you have any questions?
I just have one question for Albert. Was this property recently annexed into Dorville or?
Yes, this was annexed on November 5th, 2024.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Chris, do you have any questions?
Nope, I'm all good.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Let's
you.
go ahead and open up the public hearing. Anybody who should speak in favor of this item, please come up to the podium or use the raise hand function on Zoom. And anybody wishing to speak against? All right. If there's no further discussion, would somebody like to make a motion?
Yes, move to approve V 2507.
Conditions.
Sorry.
Move to approve V 2507 with the conditions.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, Devin made the motion, Billy made the second. Call the roll, please.
Devin,
Yes.
Billy, yes. Michael,
Yes.
Yvette,
Yes.
and Chris.
Yes.
Right. And on to the final presentation. Not final, I lied. We have one more after this.
So before I go into my presentation, the applicant disclosed to me prior to this meeting that they would wish to defer this case to October. So instead of going over a big presentation, staff would like to recommend deferring this case to October 1st, which is y'all's next regularly scheduled meeting. This is so that they can analyze their application further and just come back with some more details.
All right, would somebody like to make a motion to defer due to the applicant's request?
I'll make a motion to defer V-25-08.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, Billy made the motion, Devin made the second. Call the roll, please.
Billy, yes. Devin,
Yes.
Yvette,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
and Michael.
Yes.
All right, now on to the final case. I was close.
Swapping for this one. Okay, so this last case is a text amendment to the zoning ordinance regarding the T4 zoning district. So as you may or may not be aware, we started a city-initiated rezoning on a bunch of residential corridors in the city. That was supposed to be a joke. From mostly R1, but also a few office properties to T4, which is a mixed, primarily residential, but still mixed-use zoning district. So we started the public hearings back in July. Again, as you may be aware, this process, we're having to follow the much longer process from House Bill 1405, which was passed a couple years ago. So it'll end, the next round of public hearings will be in October, and then finally we'll conclude with a vote by the city council in November. So, but as a result of that, we've heard a couple of consistent concerns from both residents and from members of the city council about some of the requirements of the zoning that we're proposing for these properties. So these are some of those amendments meant to address those concerns as best we can. So the first one, just a summary here. So one of the comments that we've heard in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different places is since this will allow some kinds of commercial uses in places where currently only residential uses are allowed. One of the things that we've kind of heard around is when the code says that retail or commercial retail uses are allowed, what exactly that means. And I don't want to go into too much detail about how the use table works, but there's a general retail category that's in there and a general office category. And then there are also a bunch of other categories for specific kinds of things that might be retail, but when we're looking at it from like an administrative point of view, if somebody comes in and says, you know, I want to put in like just an office, I have an office category, but if they say I want to come in and I want to put like, you know, an online shop or something like that, that might also be an office, but if I have a category for that, that's what I classify it as, not as an office. So similar for retail. So what we're proposing is to pull convenience stores as a specific use out of general retail and make it its own thing with its own line item. And so when people come in and propose convenience stores, we have a new kind of a new set of parameters. So this requires creating a definition for it and everything like that. And if you're curious, the definition's in your packet, but the definition that I wrote for this comes from a mixture of there's a National Association of Convenience Stores that I had no idea existed, but now I do. And then also the American Planning Association, just kind of melding those together for what exactly counts as a convenience store. The second one is building height. So building height has gotten a lot of attention in the public hearings that we've had already and in my inbox. And so one of the proposals that we're making or one of the proposals that we're bringing forward is to reduce the maximum building height in T4 from 4 stories to 3 stories. And just for context, this would be the same building height that is maximum building height that's currently allowed both in R1 and in T3 as well. And then we have some other use table amendments that I'll show in a minute, but some of these are also in response to residents and some of them are after reviewing the use table, just clean up things. I think we've done this before where I kind of tack on cleanup in other areas of the code. Uh-oh, I have lost control. There we go. All right, so here's the current building height allowed. On the left, you see R1, which is 3 stories or 35 feet or approximately 3 stories. That should say 3 stories under T3. That's my bad. T4 is currently 4 stories, then 6 stories in T5, which for context is what most of Buford Highway and Peachtree Boulevard are zoned for. And then T6, which is 20 stories, which is only around the MARTA station currently. And I lost it again. Okay, so there is the proposed recommendation. Thank you for humoring me. And then here you can see the use table amendment. So like I said, convenience stores, adding that as its own use line item. So in T4, you'll see it would still possibly be allowed, but would now require a conditional use permit, meaning that if you know, assuming this rezoning is approved and then assuming somebody develops a corner property in the future and they want to put some kind of convenience store in the base, that would need to go before you guys and the city council rather than just being allowed by right. And then you see some other uses. Office was, for some reason, not allowed in T4 in the use table. That's something I've never caught before, so trying to fix that. And then some other minor changes like not allowing schools and kindergartens by right anymore. and then some uses that had kind of carried over from previous iterations of this table. So staff are recommending approval. Let me know if you have any questions.
All right, thank you. Any questions? Chris, any questions?
Nope.
All right, let's go ahead and open this up for the public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak in favor of this item, please come to the podium or use the raise hand function on Zoom. Anybody wishing to speak against? All right, any further discussion? Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll move to approve A-25-04.
Okay, do we have a second?
A second?
Okay, Billy made the motion, Devin made the second. Call the roll, please.
Billy, yes. Devin,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Vet,
Yes.
and Michael.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't think we have any staff comments tonight.
No, I just, one thing, we were having a little trouble with the agenda packet, earlier today. I do want to just put that on record that all the issues were fixed. The agenda packet is now available, on the city website. If anybody wants to view that, all the cases that you heard tonight will go to the mayor and city council in 2 weeks on the 17th.
Okay.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you. And would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn?
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, Devin made the motion, Billy made the second. Call the roll, please.
Devin,
Yes.
Billy, yes. Chris,
Yes.
Vet,
Yes.
and Michael.
Yes.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good night.